I've been working on improving my blog writing for about 15, 16 months, and in particular, my goal is to be able to write effective blogs advocating about change in learning and development, with the target audience being business leaders. So I'm trying to speak directly to business leaders now instead of just to learning and development professionals. So when I first started this, I'm going to call it transition because it's shifting who I'm speaking predominantly to with my writing. It seemed really daunting and just a stretch beyond where I could go, as well as questioning, well, who am I to have this conversation with business leaders and to try to advocate on behalf of the profession. But I've been doing a program called Dangerous Blogging with Katie McMurray. That was Katie you saw in that last snap when I was on the webinar this morning. I'm now in kind of the maintenance phase of the program where I get ongoing editing, support and mentoring from her, and part of the program is once a month group webinar where people submit their blogs and Katie evaluates them against 5 different values. These are the 5 values that Katie uses, and she gives us feedback about how each of our blog pieces stacks up against those 5 values. That's the focus of the monthly webinars, although the private mentoring programs sessions also look a lot more at not just the values but also the technical quality of our writing. I've often found it really laborious to write what I regard as a good quality opinion piece, an influencing piece directed at business leaders. And I'm really only just now, after this 14 months, starting to appreciate the process I need to go through to get me to the point where I can write a good piece. And it involves a lot of immersion in reading and conversations around a topic. And I've been having a lot of conversations over the past 2 months about learning culture and learning organisations, which has kind of crystallise some of the ways I feel I can speak to business leaders about these topics. So the current piece I'm working on, the working title is Rapid Learning, and it was triggered by me getting angry about the number of really capable learning and development professionals that I've seen being made redundant over recent months, including in some cases whole teams. My first draft of this blog piece, which was done about 3 weeks ago, was basically a rant about that topic that had made me angry. And with Katie, I took on board Katie's feedback about shifting my tone to speak more authoritatively and directly to leaders, as well as painting the picture of what needed to happen, like letting go of the rant and turning it into something more positive. So I sat down into 1-hour sessions earlier this week and I drafted this piece that I'm now calling Rapid Learning, and I just basically sat down and kind of pumped it out without overthinking it. And here was Katie's feedback. I am so delighted. Wow, apparently is like getting 5 gold stars in the rating. She really loved it and felt that I spoke with courage, with authority, used a very appropriate Jack Welch quote, authenticity, and the alignment was there. The thing I'm most delighted about with this piece is when I actually sat down to write it this time, how easily the whole thing came, how it came together quite quickly because I've allowed myself time to kind of stew in my thinking about this topic. And I'm so pleased that she thought it hit the values. So she'll do a technical edit next on it. I'm sure there'll be some rework required, but I reckon it won't take too much longer to have this piece ready to post. It's probably the quickest. This will be my 3rd kind of dangerous blog, if I can put it that way. It'll be the quickest one that I've pulled together. So that's progress. Our apartment complex includes this nice looking pool, jacuzzi across the way, and a little pretend beach. They're big on pretend beaches here in Brisbane. I think Jess and I need to hit this space later in the day. So in 40 minutes I'm delivering the first webinar in this Australian Institute of Training and Development course. So just sitting down now to do my prep. I've actually printed out notes, went to Officeworks and printed out the notes. I'm just going to walk through the speaker notes and make sure I'm all ready to go. I'm hosting the webinar on Zoom, which is a very versatile platform. So Jess has brought me to this shop she's been wanting to go to for months called Dough Lord, and you're not going to believe what we're eating. What is it, Jess?
Edible cookie dough.
Raw cookie dough. Looks like ice cream, but it ain't ice cream. Apparently it keeps for months, so...
And it's vegan.
And it's vegan. So if we get sick eating it, which is a possibility, we can store it. We've come shopping. This is the main mall in Queen Street in Brisbane. As you can see, it's not too busy and it's a lovely sunny day. I've been talking to people in Sydney today who are telling me they're sitting around in Ugg boots and scarves and beanies, so it's nice to be in the warmth. So getting back to the social and collaborative learning essentials, this is the Curatr platform that the content is stored on. You can see there's one module set up for each week of the program, and within each of these modules there's a series of content basically set up. So for instance, I've actually loaded the webinar as a piece of content recording from the webinar. Can be accessed here, and there's space for discussion, and we've got people starting to comment on the content. So neat little platform. What it doesn't have is a general area for discussion. All of the discussions are tied to specific pieces of content. So we're going to use a tool called Slack to have a private online space for general discussions. It's a tool we want to explore as part of the program anyway, as well as exploring the use of a whole range of other tools, including definitely Twitter, but also encouraging people to play around with different tools. Now, I'm keen not to overemphasize the tools. It's more for me about the interactions and the quality of the interactions, how to create safety in online learning spaces for social learning, but also there's a whole topic on face-to-face social learning. So one of the myths about social learning is often that it's all about online spaces, but there's lots of social learning happening through conversations, which is the vehicle for social learning, happening face-to-face. And another key way people will learn during the program is by actually doing stuff, experiential or hands-on learning. And there's an overarching project to create a social organisational learning strategy that can be implemented in a 6-month period. And because I didn't create this content, I didn't create the program, someone else did, I'm going to do all the activities as well. Although the organisational social learning strategy for me may be a personal social strategy, or how I could incorporate social learning as a tool in the way I work with people who are clients. So good stuff. Right, something else. As you can see, I'm sitting in the car. I'm actually at the airport. There's nothing very airportish to show you from where I am. I'm just in the car park. And I'm picking up my colleague Arun Pradhan, who has flown up or is flying up from Melbourne to Brisbane, because tomorrow we're facilitating the second of our workshops from Order Taker to Performance Partner. That's one of the reasons I'm in Brisbane. Smaller than the Melbourne and Sydney workshops. We've just got 9 participants, so it'll be interesting. I think it'll be more of a casual learning environment. I think there'll be a lot more interaction. I'm really looking forward to it. Got a bit of last minute preparation for the workshop here. My assistant is going to help hand out the workbooks, and she's also going to be timing activities and giving people a signal when its time is up. Do you think that's going to work?
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.